Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim with DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, and today we're checking out All-Pro Basketball for the NES.
Alright, this game was released in 1989 only for the NES. It was an exclusive. It was developed by ACOM and published by Tokai. Now, you've probably heard of Tokai before. They were a big name in Japan, still are today, in the electronics field. And for about 10 years, they made video games. So they're more well known for crappy games like Kid Cool, but for pretty decent titles like The Cap Attack on the Genesis, Columns 3, and for Golgo 13 Top Secret Episode. Anyway, let's get on with the review.
Alright, so graphically, this is probably going to be our first and only vertically scrolling basketball game on the NES. I'm not sure because we haven't played them all yet, but anyway, it doesn't look bad. The court, the fans, it's everything you expect out of a basketball game. Now, the detail for the players has gone down since the Hoops game we reviewed last week, where everyone is just faceless again, and it's just a matter of different color jerseys. The most annoying thing about this game, and the biggest reason we really drove this down, and Jim I'm sure will talk about more with the gameplay, but when you have to change over to the other side of the court, watch this cutscene. Fuck! You will get so annoyed by that, and to me that's just a graphical mistake. Other than that, we did enjoy the little cutscene here and there for someone going in for a dunk, but it wasn't enough to save the score in our eyes. As you can see, we both gave it 5s. I'm adding 3 beers right off the bat for that goddamn court change. Man!
The sound. Not a bad package, actually. The intro song, we love. It's dynamic, it's got a lot of layers to it, it's really impressive. It almost reminds us of a Konami song.
Jim, it gives me a boner!
And it gives Bride boners. Even better. Well, not for me. This is getting really uncomfortable right now.
Look at it!
Anyway. The sound effects in the game, you don't get as much as in, say, Double Dribble, but the sound effects you do get are pretty good. Nothing spectacular, but they get the job done. You get the sounds of the ball bouncing, you get some crowd noise, you get whistles, standard shit. There's a problem though, and that's the music inside the game itself. Now, you get music in the menus and when you're picking teams, and that's fine. But the song during the game, it's really short. It's actually kind of overpowering to the other sound effects, and it can get annoying relatively fast. So, our advice, if you're going to play this, you should probably turn the sound down. Overall, what you get, it's not bad. We gave it 6s, and I'll add another 2 beers just for that damn in-game music.
So as far as the control is concerned, this is an area where me and Jim, we both agree, it was pretty rough. Like any basketball game at the time, you just have your pass button and your shoot button. The biggest issue we felt was when you go to pass to someone, it doesn't go directly to them, they have to move into the way of the ball. And that'd be fine, except your players move slow as dicks, so the control just feels really sluggish. Not only that, AI defense on the computer side is fucking ridiculous. They will steal the ball off you 95% of the time, and when you go to do it to them, it seems the button never wants to work. So, we definitely had our issues there. As you can see, I gave it a 5, Jim gave it a 4. I'm going to add 2 beers just for that goddamn defense.
The gameplay. Alright, apparently at the time this was a game that people loved, and we don't get it. You get a couple different game modes, which is fine. You get single player mode, you get versus mode, you get co-op mode, and you get a watch mode, in which you can watch 2 computers play against each other. Who the hell would ever want to watch this? I can't think of anything more boring. I've watched Leaves of Grass watch paint dry, and that was less boring than this. Like Bryce said, there's that vertically scrolling, switching court thing, and it's terrible. It's absolutely awful. It throws you off. It changes the control scheme you're doing. It basically inverts it when you get done doing it. You can kind of get used to it, but it's just annoying. It isn't, say, as game-breaking as the not automatically switching to the player with the puck thing like Wayne Gretzky. It's still rough, and it really hurt the overall experience for us. So, for that switching, we had to cut it. Points lost it for us. We gave it 5s. It's a decent enough basketball game. The switching kills you. And we'll give it another... I'm giving it 3 beers. You need to be drunk to either get used to this or not mind it.
Well, surprise, surprise. For the third game that came out on the NES, This game retains some pretty good originality in our eyes. Not only is this the first basketball game to do vertical scrolling, but it has this unique mechanic where after a game, it'll show you your stats and it'll give you a password. It turns out, as long as you put that password in, that's kind of its way of making up a season mode, if you will. For people who really loved the game back in the day, I'm sure you still have your original password with hundreds of games on there. That's a neat feature. It's not one me and Jim will be using anytime soon, but hey, we give it kudos where we can. So as you can see, we both gave it 7s. It brought some new ideas to just basic basketball, so we gotta give it credit there. And I'm only gonna add one more beer because although this game might not be great, me and Jim, we felt it did some neat things.
Alright, the replayability. Like I said, you have 4 game modes, that adds to it. It's a sports game, so you're automatically going to have some points there. There's 8 different teams in the game. Not exactly sure if they all play differently. We didn't honestly play the game enough to know, but a possibility. Anyway, we gave it 7s. There's a decent package here. There's a lot to get out of it. If you can use that fucking switching, you might have a reason to play it again.
Jim, you're so angry.
I'm always angry. Anyway, I'll add another beer just because... drink up. You still need it for that switching. I'm still angry.
So overall, what can we say? Me and Jim, we felt this game had wasted potential. It introduced a few interesting ideas. It had the different teams. It looked decent enough. It had some cool sounds, but it just failed to really impress us. So, as you can see, we both gave it 5s. It's nothing that's going to blow your balls off with excitement, but it's definitely not the worst game on the system. So as you can see, with all of our combined scores, we get a cumulative score of 5.6, and it really speaks to what we feel about this game. This game is like the tiniest taint hair away from being average, and it does just enough to make you maybe enjoy it, but me and Jim personally, we will not be picking this one back up. You probably shouldn't either. Alright, and as far as the beer pairing is concerned, we're going to go with the Murphy's Red Irish Ale. Interestingly enough, that beer received a 5.6 from us as well. Go check out our site and see why. Either way, this is our beer that when we first started drinking it, it had potential, but after about 5 or 6, we weren't that impressed with it anymore. So, it should pair well with this one. Cheers, guys! And as always, thanks for checking out our video. Make sure you give us a thumbs up or click subscribe if you enjoyed it. Be sure to check out our other basketball game reviews, linked below. See you next time, guys.